I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Ms. Salcha? Here. Mr. Lindemann?
Here.
Dr. Gomez?
Here.
Mr. Ramos?
Here. Here.
Mr. Berain?
Here, great. We have all the board members on board. Item D, call to the public. This is going to be on action item 2, so we'll wait till we get to that item. And we just happen to be there. So action item 2 is discussion action on the Douglas Unified School District number 27 mask mandate. Ms. Samaniego.
Yes, as I explained to you last week, that I would be monitoring our COVID cases, the information coming out from Cochise County Health Department, the CDC, and as you are well aware, many institutions have changed their mask policies to now going from mandated to optional. Our Cochise County has now at the substantial level, so we're no longer in the red. Our cases have diminished by a lot. I think even this past week we had one student case and under 5 staff cases. So for these reasons, I think my recommendation is to make mask optional. And if staff and students want to wear it, they can, and if they don't, they no longer have to. And that would be my recommendation.
Okay, members of the board, any conversation or discussion?
Yeah, Mr. President, I have a few concerns I wanted to bring up. First of all, when you talk about the level of the CDC, it's a yellow, right? It's a yellow.
Yes.
And that's a medium or a moderate. But, that's not low. And so one of my concerns is that we still have a risk level. And so the classrooms, generally there's not enough space to social distance, especially in the elementary. So that's a concern of mine. If we are reducing the mask to optional, isn't that jumping the gun a bit if it's not low? That would be my question. And then, of course, what happens if we do have another recurring outbreak? Because we're jumping the gun, which is my point. Now, I don't mind, having the mask optional, but we've got to mitigate those concerns about, the distance in the classroom. Is it prudent to accept a risk level of that? So that was my concern.
Ms. Salcho.
I've been watching a lot of TV on this, but mostly I've been reading about it. And I did see that they are expecting an upsurge in April. That's the prediction. And they were pretty much on track with the upswing after Christmas. So I just had a question about that. Are we ready for that? Just as a question.
As a question. Well, I think when when the decision was made by the board to go with an optional mask mandate or per se, and then things changed over the course of several months, then we reconvened as a board and we made that decision to then go back to a mask mandate. I think we still have that possibility because I can't foresee whether there will be a surge or whether there will continue to be a downward trend on our COVID cases. And your concerns are definitely valid, Mr. Lindemann. We know that our classrooms are not built to socially distance. And so we will continue as far as the mitigating strategies that we have already embedded from, sanitizing, still using, the mask if kids want to wear them, if parents want to wear them. But the cleaning, the thorough cleaning, the wipes. I've been visiting schools, and a lot of the classrooms you can smell the either the Clorox or the hand wipes because they're constantly doing it. A lot of the classrooms right now, because there is instruction going on, and we have to have those teacher, small groups, and student-to-student parent, student-to-student conversations. So most of the classrooms are having that grouping setting again, as we have seen in many classrooms for many years. So your concerns are valid. And so what I would say to that is if we do have another surge where then, we have a major concern, we can always reconvene, but I think we need to at least give this a try. It's getting, warm out there. The classrooms are warm right now. We've been wearing masks for many, many months now. And so I think, are we jumping the gun? I think we're in a good place to make, we're in a good place so that I can make that recommendation, because if our data showed different, then obviously I would say let's hold off a bit. I know that I got several emails from constituents, you may have too, and so as soon as the news started to share this out on various states and even other school districts around Arizona, then, more parents were asking, are we going to go with optional?
And I have one more question too, or just concern. Students would not be encouraged to not wear masks, would they?
No, and all we would do is, actually, when we went out for an optional mask mandate, our information, our COVID-19 handbook said masks were recommended but not required.
Okay.
And so we're not going to discourage one way or the other.
Okay, because I think we don't want to cross that opinion line.
Yes,
On
it's
either
not-
side.
Yes, on either
Okay.
side, correct.
Mr. Lindeman, do you have anything else?
Well, thank you. I'm just thinking that, the couple of students I've had occasion to talk to since I've been back in town say that they're just used to it. And it's no big deal for them. So I would hope that they would continue to wear indoors and treat it as just one thing that you're going to put up with. And so that would be my thinking.
And many staff and students may go via that route and just continue to wear it, and that, I think that's where the option comes in, and those that want to keep it on and don't feel safe, don't want to take it off, they will continue to wear it. You even see some staff and students wear it outdoors too. So I think the option just allows for some choice.
Dr. Gomez?
Dr. Gomez?
Dr. Gomez, do you have any comments to make? How about Mr. Ramos?
Yes, I just wanted to say that, our students are tired, but going with the optional, there's a lot of students that continue wearing their mask. And I think there's more students that wear their mask than students that don't wear it. And going optional may be something we need to do now. That's all.
Okay, and before we go to Mr. Duarte on his addressing the board, Mrs. Cox, you're the one that's been monitoring the situation. You're actually the focal point of everything, where everything comes together. What is your take on this? Because you deal with the staff, not only the staff, but with the students and all of the things that are of concern.
So I think because.
Mr. Brain, can you hear me?
Oh,
Dr. Gomez.
is that Dr. Gomez now? Yeah, we can hear you. Let's let Dr. Gomez go ahead.
Go
Yeah.
ahead, sir.
Okay. I don't understand where the board members are coming from. The New York City schools took off the mandate. Other big school districts have taken off the mandate. And so why are we saying that we still want to have masks be worn in the classroom? That doesn't make sense. And the thing of it is that on an optional basis, that's fine with me. If the parents want them to wear masks, that's fine with me. If the teachers want to wear masks, that's fine with me. But we can't not mandate anymore and say you have to. That's my point.
Okay, thank you. Does Mr. Ramos, do you have any other comments before I defer to Mrs. Cox?
No.
Okay, go ahead, Denise.
Okay, I agree, the numbers are lower for us, which is always a good sign. And I would hope that if there's an upsurge or if something changes, that we would come back to the board to do something in order to protect our staff and students. And so I think we just monitor. We're just going to continue to monitor.
So the administration is in total agreement then, on the recommendation. Mr. Duarte?
Good afternoon, Mr. President, board members, Mrs. Samaniego. I'm in support of the optional going and let the parents decide what's going to work best for them. The kids that I do deal with, I'm coaching baseball, I do the youth coalition. The kids, yeah, they're used to it because they have to tolerate it, be there, but they're tired of it. They enjoy seeing each other smiling and stuff. The kids that want it, that feel comfortable, that they need it, they will continue to wear it. I think it's now been about 3 weeks that Walmart went that they don't have to do it anymore. And you walk into Walmart, most people are wearing it, even if they see the managers, everybody else not wearing it. So everybody has to be at their comfort level. Look how quickly this time we were able to convene a meeting. And I think Mrs. Samaniego has done a great job of monitoring what the health department, what the CDC is saying, that if we do have that upsurge, within a week, less than a week, we can have another meeting and change direction if we have to. We've done it before, we can do it again. Okay, so I'm in favor of us having that. COVID is going to endemic. We're going to have to learn how to live with it. I think we've learned a lot from it, of what we can do, how we can take care of ourselves. But let's go with give the parents the option and see how they want their kids to be going to school with it. So thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, and as always, we appreciate your input.
President?
So, yes, Mr. Leonard.
Before we go
Sure, go
further,
ahead.
I just wanted to say that, the local numbers should drive our decision. And if we are lower, then perhaps locally, we're in the green or the low and not the medium. But that should drive our decision, is the local numbers and data. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, so before we call for the question, I'm going to go around the table one more time. Ms. Salchow, do you have anything else
No.
based on anything you've heard?
Well, I was just going to ask Mr. Lindeman, the way I understand Cochise County being in the medium, it has to do with available beds in hospitals. It's not necessarily about cases, but also that our highest numbers are in the Benson area and St. David area. And I didn't see it mentioned being part of, our southeast corner. And so that's all I have to add about that. I just wondered,
No, thank you very much. That's good information. And I think that corresponds with my take on it as the data locally. And, maybe the county-wide has a different take on it, but here, we're doing okay.
Okay, Dr. Ed, any last comments by you before we call for the question?
If we're going to collect data in Douglas, then let it be among the students and the teachers, not the overall population, because there's a lot of elderly people that might be susceptible to this, and they have to be taken care of. But we're talking about the students and the teachers in the school district.
Mr. Ramos?
No, I'm pretty much on the grounds that our students, the ones that want to wear masks, and our teachers, we should give them the option if they can, or they want to not wear it. It's up to them. We have to help them out a little bit here, in my opinion, because it has gone on, and it's depressing for some kids. You with masks, and then the social distancing and everything, it's hard. At least we can give them the option. If they want to wear it, wear it. If not, don't wear it,
I'd like to add one more thing. if
Sure,
I
go
may.
ahead, yeah.
Concerning the vaccination rates, which I think is the basis for us getting out of this whole situation, But I can only assume that the rate is going higher and everybody is getting vaccinated because we don't see the numbers on that, or at least I don't.
And I think Douglas, for the most part, was one of the communities that had more people vaccinated, like comparison to even Sierra Vista. And so I think that is also we have what it takes to keep us, safer, which is a vaccine. For the individuals that wanted to get vaccinated, I think most of us have made that choice, and the ones that don't have made that choice. The vaccines are available for kids, 5 and older now, and so we have the means to protect ourselves, and so I think it's time.
Okay.
Okay, what's your pleasure?
I would like to make a motion to have the mask mandate removed and just say optional. But I would encourage to continue to wear the mask inside or in settings that are you couldn't distance.
Transmission.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Dr. Gomez?
What does the motion mean when you say optional, but then you put some qualifiers? What are the qualifiers again?
The qualifier meaning encouraging to,
Yeah, just encourage
yeah.
inside, indoors.
Dr. Gomez?
Anticipate what?
Encourage them wearing them indoors.
I don't believe that.
Mr. Lindeman?
Well, I was just simply saying that, it could be left up to the individual choice, but bearing in mind that there is still a risk level, and if the individual is okay with that, then fine, they can decide.
Any further discussion, Ms. Salcho?
No.
Administration, want to add anything before we call for the question?
No, so I think it's just the motion would be, it is removing the mask mandate. Masks are now optional. Our information in our handbooks and everything that we have is just recommended, but it's optional. And so not swaying one way or the other. So mask would be optional.
Well,
But that is a qualifier that.
yeah, the
Mr.
qualifier, but I think that recommended, I think he said encouraged. I think he used the word encouraged,
Yeah,
right?
but if that's not fitting, I will certainly change the motion.
No, it's your motion. You can word it any way you want to, and it got a second, so it's on the
Can I
floor.
remove my second?
You why don't you just make a amendment to the motion if you want to?
I would say that we amend that it's optional.
And leave the qualifier off?
Leave the qualifier off.
Okay, so we will vote on the amendment. Are you making a motion to do that? Is there a second to the amendment?
I'll second that.
Okay, discussion. Mr. Ramos and Dr. Gomez, I hope you heard what was transpired up here. Do you have any comments regarding that?
No, that's fine. That would be, I would go for that amendment.
Okay, Mr.
No,
Ramos?
I haven't got any, none.
Okay, so I'll call for the question on the amendment. Alma?
Ms. Salcho?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes?
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes,
Mr. Bahrain?
Yes. Okay, we're down to the question now. Any further discussion now before we go to the principal question?
Which is, that was a vote.
That was a vote.
No, we voted on the amendment.
Oh, the amendment. Okay.
Now we're back to she amended the motion, so now it's, we've removed the qualifier, okay? Any further discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Salcho?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes?
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
yes.
Mr. Bahrain?
Yes. Do you have any announcements or anything, Ms. Samanera?
Just a reminder to our parents and students that spring break is next week. So we want everybody to enjoy and spend some time with their families.
Okay.
Very much needed time for all of our school staff, our teachers, our instructional, our principals. They sure deserve a break.
Okay, again, want to thank the board members for meeting on this very important matter. And of course, it's not only important to the board, but it's of course of great interest to the community and of course our staff. So entertain a motion to adjourn
I move to adjourn.
by Mr. Lindeman.
Second.
By Ms. Salchow. All those in favor?
Aye.